Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, March 20th. I am your host of What's Up Wednesday, Brittany McAllister, and I am in Omaha, Nebraska. And today we are going to chat about all things real estate, starting with what's going on in our local market. So first and foremost is our active properties. Right now in Douglas and Sarpy counties, we've got 454 active existing homes for sale, which is the least amount of homes that we've had in the last month. And then 200 completed new construction homes, which is a little bit more, but about the same as what we've been seeing since the beginning of the year, for a total of 654 active single-family homes in Douglas and Sarpy County that you could buy today and move right in, which that number is, I was going to say more, but I think it's less. That number is the least amount of homes we've seen on the market since about this time in February. So we saw quite a bit of an increase like early March, and now it's back down to what it was. So we'll be curious to see if that continues to trend downward. We kind of thought it was going to keep going up because of just what normally happens in the spring market with inventory. So what that's telling me is, like, if you're on the fence about selling your house, now is a really good time to get it on the market because there's not enough houses for sale still. And then we had 237 pendings in the last week, which is the most amount of pendings we've seen in quite some time, just in a 7-day period. So very interesting with this week. All of that, like, despite what came out on Friday, which is what we're going to talk about next. On Friday, if maybe you've seen, maybe you've not seen, if you've not, you're probably living a little bit under a rock. But NAR, the National Association of Realtors, came out with a proposed settlement to the class action lawsuit that was going on, or that is going on. Now, a couple of disclaimers about this. Number one, it is a proposed settlement. It hasn't even been yet finalized or signed off on by a judge. And number two, it's okay. It's not crazy. I just feel like there's been a lot of negativity surrounding it, and then a lot of just really clickbaity kind of headlines that have come out about this, like, standard commission is gone and prices are going to drop because commissions are no longer a thing. Like, none of those things are real and they're still not going to be real even when all of this comes into effect come July or summertime of this year. So we just wanted to chat quick about, like, what that means for you. So if you're on the buy side, or I guess I should back up. So really what the settlement proposed is that currently the way that things work is that if I go on a listing and a seller chooses me to list their home, when we talk about commission, the way that we're talking about it is we would couple the commissions as one. So whether that's 4%, 5%, 6%, the commission itself was always negotiable, which is why the headline surrounding this is really misleading. The standard 6% commission is gone. Well, there was never a standard. That's actually in breach of a different lawsuit at some point in time. Like, we can't set a standard. There was no standard. So every agent might have a standard for what they want their business to be, what they take a listing at based on their value proposition. That you could have a standard in your business, but realistically it's always negotiable, and it's something that we talk about with clients. So let's just say 6%, for example. So for 6%, I would tell my client, we charge 6%. I always explain that the way that 6% gets broken up is that I charge in our market 3.6%, and the remaining 2.4% is what we will choose to pay a buyer's agent if they bring a buyer. Now, there's a billion ways to go about this. Do I take all my listings at 6%? No. Can I take one at 7%? Yeah. Can I take one at 4%? Sure. It just depends on the situation. It depends on the client. It depends on really a whole bunch of things. Like, so we won't really get into commission, but with that being said, we're decoupling that. So going forward, what the proposed settlement said is that sellers will no longer, or agents, we will no longer be able to advertise a commission to the buyer's agent. And so we'll no longer be able to put that on the MLS because right now we could say it was mandatory. We had to put what we were compensating the buyer agent at. So going forward, we will not have that. So for sellers, this was always your choice. It will continue to be your choice if you choose to pay a buyer's agent or not. And we could get into all of the intricacies of that. Now, on the buy side, for buyers, one new thing that might be coming into effect is, like, for example, I never did buyer agency agreements, like exclusive agencies with my clients. I just did our standard agency agreement, which just explains my fiduciary responsibility to my clients. But going forward, it will be mandatory that every buyer signs an exclusive buyer agency or an agency agreement of some sort with an agent that states what that agent will charge for commission. And it doesn't matter who pays the agent. It just matters that it's disclosed and that you're agreeing upon this number. So if I'm representing you as a buyer and, I charge 2.4% and the seller of the house that you love says they will not pay a buyer's agent commission, then that fee now falls on you, which in the past it did not. Unless we're able to negotiate that 2.4% into the deal somehow, which is kind of what we think is going to be the case. Is there's going to be, just with anything, change and there's going to be new practices that come out, and then we'll all adopt those and like, oh, that's a great idea, we should do that. It's just an interesting time with all of this information. So really, I was talking with my coach this morning. What we were talking about is the real estate industry and real estate professionals, realtors. The thing that is very interesting about our industry is that we're one of the only industries that truly is free until the product is done, until the transaction is done. So, an attorney, they have a retainer. If you go to the doctor, you're getting you or your insurance is paying up front for those things. And in real estate, if we decide to list your house or you say, hey, I want to go buy a house, every single thing that we do up until you actually buy the new house or until your home actually closes, we do not get compensated whatsoever for that. So it's an interesting timeline, the way the process works. And so it's just really important that agents are being able to articulate their value and being able to tell their clients why I deserve to earn this commission because I do these things. And so I won't be surprised if people start looking, or if agents start just speaking up about the value they provide. I think it's really, especially in the last 5 or 6 years, 10 years, we've really just gotten away from articulating the value. We just assumed everyone understood what we did and saw the value in it. And this lawsuit is bringing up the fact that that's not the case. And some agents don't deserve the commission that they're charging. And some agents are not putting in the value for the money they're receiving. And the public is not cool with it. So we, as a whole, we think this is a really good move. We think this is going to be really exciting just for the industry and for clients. I think it'll be just like any service that you pay for, what you pay for. And there's always been discount brokerages in the market. There's always been people who are willing to charge less. And I think now it'll just open the eyes up to the clients of, hey, yes, that was always an option. You can always choose someone that will charge you less, and just know that you get what you pay for. You might not be getting the same result because you're paying someone less. And so I think it's just an interesting time, I would say. So it'll be cool to see how things all play out. And as always, I'll be here every Wednesday, so we'll chat about anything new that comes out. As far as right this moment, there's literally nothing changing. All of these proposed changes are happening sometime this summer. So we'll just start seeing those things roll out, in quarter 2, quarter 3. But for right now, all is well. Everything's going. We're still seeing, obviously, houses are moving. So if you've considered buying or selling or investing or building a new house, any of those things, of course, we're always interested to help you. Would love to get you guys into a new house this year. So that's my spiel. I feel like I didn't even breathe for the last 7 minutes. If you have any questions, please reach out. We would love to chat more about it and how it affects you personally. At the end of the day, that's how all of this works anyway. If it doesn't affect our personal lives, it's not necessarily something we need to keep on our radar. And so that's my job and my commitment to you guys as my clients, is to make sure that I'm keeping everything on your radar that should be, and then helping protect you from things that maybe don't even necessarily need your time and energy. So that's all I have for this week. We'll chat with you guys next week.